Friends, Brickey here, giving you a comprehensive look at the new villas at the Disneyland Hotel. I have been filming this project since it was first announced, capturing what it looked like before anything was here, all the way up to this tower showing up. Let's look back at what a journey it's been, because it started before the pandemic. It was January of 2021 when we first started to see the cranes tower over the existing Disneyland Hotel towers. But below them was just a mound of dirt, but the mound was so tall that we could see this little dirty Matterhorn peeking over the top of the nothing to see here blue sky construction walls. But by the end of January, we started to see the rebar in the ground, which means concrete was poured. And friends, we're going vertical, which meant eventually closing up the empty gap in the skyline and taking away that California blue behind the monorail water slide. Well, except for May gray and June gloom, when the sky here is just white. Hard to film in when you have a white sky. And all throughout the year with my weekly update video series, I tried to warn people about booking hotel stays, letting them know in advance that chilling by the pool was going to be louder than loud, and that if you book your wedding here, you better get a wedding photographer with great Photoshop skills, because a crane will be in the background of your happiest day at Disneyland. During February, the dirt pile grew and so did the rebar, but it was still moving at what looked like a slow and steady pace, which we all know is what wins the race. However, by the start of March, all the little efforts started to take shape into big results. The metal wall was starting to grow. And by the end of March, we were level with the bottom of the monorail slide. Not bad for the first quarter of the year. Meanwhile, the Disneyland treehouse was, a treehouse. The next month would bring concrete forms that would be poured, and all the pretty rebar that we were just getting used to seeing was gonna go bye-bye. Goodbye, old friends. We'll see you after the apocalypse. Everything now started to stack up over the Disneyland pools and brought even more of that noise that I tried to warn everybody about each week in episodes of Update. And I mean loud. 5 months into the year, and by the start of May, you could see an entire new floor had been added. Construction, like a lot of things in life, has a compounding effect, where once you get it going, it all starts to move faster and faster. I've heard the same could be said for YouTube, but my little channel seems to be stuck in the slow lane. So what do you say? Subscribe today? Deal. Sweet. Appreciate you. And at the halfway mark of 2022, in June, we had several floors above the monorail slide. This is quite a distance from dirt at the first week of January. But as the walls were raising and the floors were going up into the sky, the noise was rising as the structure did. Absolutely miserable, like sitting poolside on Broadway in Manhattan. By the end of June, you could see the front balcony taking shape, and the jigsaw puzzle cutouts of the front facade were becoming evident. While all of this work was going on, the Downtown Disney West project came to a complete stop, as seen here from the top of the forever named Mickey Fun Wheel to me. And you can see that empty gap on the edge of the Adventure Tower. It's still there for now. At the end of summer, August would bring a Disneyland twist. You know how all the good attractions at Disneyland have surprises embedded inside of them? Remember the first time that you rode Rise of the Resistance and you didn't realize that the first ship was taken to another ship and then eventually you'd fall from the sky? You know, the first time that somebody explained to you, well, it's not Indy's ball that's moving, it's the walls that are moving, and we're in the same spot. Well, the same could be said for the best Disney construction projects that have their own little Disney twist. Who had Disneyland repainting the existing towers on their construction bingo card? Not me. And knowing what we know today, it makes so much sense why they went through all of the hassle of repainting all three towers, redecorating the furniture, and doing lots of touch-ups on all of the customer-facing facades. Also now in August, we can see the building backing up to Walnut Street, the way that it stair steps down to reduce noise, because there are residential citizens of Anaheim right on the other side of Walnut Street. This allowed us to start filming from the top of the Disneyland Hotel parking garage because now there was something to see over the top of the parking garage. 8 months in and we are way above the monorail pool now. It's getting fun to watch, but our fun will soon come to an end as everything's going to become scrimmed off the front side of the hotel in black cloth to protect the workers, to improve the construction process, but to bum out the vlogging process. It just became a giant sack of potatoes and I couldn't see any of those delicious potatoes. But right before they draped on the big burlap sack, we were able to see at the end of August, they were already putting in window frames. They are fully building the exterior design elements, which is why the cloak of darkness must go up. And for the next 8 months, there really wouldn't be much to see. It was largely all blacked out, as much of the work was happening on the interior. I would walk by it, but couldn't really notice anything different week to week. But while we're waiting for the story to get exciting again, let's revisit what this space looked like in January of 2020 when it was announced that the new DVC tower was coming to the Disneyland Resort. If you watch my Disneyland expansion series that I do once a month, I talk about often how I look at the future of the Disney parks, knowing that historically, no ideas at Disneyland ever fully die. They never fully go away. They often get resurrected in a different shape, a different plan, but good ideas seem to somehow find their way to light. And because no good idea ever dies at Disneyland, and the failed plans for this hotel may have been paused literally on the morning that the bulldozers were coming, we do find ourselves looking at another new luxury level hotel at the Disneyland Resort. So even though they pulled out on the first plan, one still showed up for all the naysayers out there. And it would take over this quiet green space that was once home to a free nightly water show that you could see projected on the back walls. They even had a holiday version of it. Friends, you are looking at the OG, the real World of Color 1. You can see where the current pool area will be connected to the breezeway that will allow you to walk underneath the new DVC tower and then take you to the new pools on the backside of it facing Walnut Street. This same spot I'm standing in to film this is now mere feet from the new DVC tower. You can really get an idea of how big this space is from this long shot. I also get the feeling that this was always planned, and at some point when it felt right, and it seems like that moment is now, Disney would pull out the plan, Operation Fourth Tower at the Disneyland Hotel. It's crazy to see this big gap in the skyline where you used to be able to watch the sunset while you sat poolside. That view, sadly, is going to be gone, traded for more hotel rooms and probably some pretty epic firework views. It's insane how the Frontier Tower used to feel way more out in the frontier than it will soon in just 3 years. Disney, I believe, has a script for success that's already written. They know where the future of Tomorrowland, Hollywoodland, the Simba parking lot, Disneyland Forward, they already know the moves on the chessboard for all of these pieces in the puzzle that is Disneyland. It's always a matter of perfect timing, when, why, and the execution of now's the moment to do it. They have the longevity to play the waiting game. They've been here for 68 years. They'll be here for another 68, I'm sure. And like all companies, they'll have their financial rough spots, but they'll also have their moments when everything's buzzing and they can grow. I love documenting all of this, so catch my expansion series if you love it as much as I do, where once a month we look at how the Disneyland Resort could expand. Moving back to the present, Disney has been sharing a lot of concept artwork for the new villas, and even shared a construction video of their own. It seems they're super proud of this hotel. Not only does it add much needed inventory to the Disneyland Resort DVC members, but it may be the most Disney themed DVC hotel yet. And just in case you don't know, DVC stands for Disney Vacation Club, but it may be the most Disney themed DVC hotel yet, from its It's a Small World style backboards on your vanity to the digital headboards above your bed. All of the concept artwork shown illustrates a high level of attention to detail in Disney design. But with the villas, you can see the extra efforts put into nearly everything, like the curling ceilings instead of traditional hard right angles that subtly creates a Disneyland D in the hallways. Focusing in on a modern design meets Disney is how I would describe this hotel. Not totally mid-century modern, not all the way Palm Springs, but also not just totally Disney. It meets somewhere healthily in the middle. The common spaces do a good job of bridging the design and story. It has the mid-century style of simplistic design, which they chose because it allows the art to pop, and the art is where you find the Disney story. Notice these great flowers installed in the ceiling of the breezeway, and the Palm Springs style concrete block walls that have the Disney magic sprinkles cut out of them to create a unique pattern. And I adore the creamsicle color they have used, and I like how it makes the brighter orange pop while also complementing it. A nice modern boxed out bar creates all clean lines and perfectly aligns with those stone columns, which was that very first rebar we saw them installing back in February of 2022. And it seems like there's fun details everywhere you look, like the beautiful pastel flower print at the bottom of the bar. I love that detail and how those flowers eventually form the Disneyland D logo for the villas that they are using. Whoever made that logo, pat yourself on the back. You did an outstanding job. One of the best Disney logos in the last decade. These villas are next level Disneyan. I can't even imagine what that will be like to stay in. If you book one of these, please let me come and film it before you check in so that I can have the footage for the archives and the fantasy of having my own little home inside of Disneyland just for one night. Wish upon a star, Brickey. Wish upon a star. The mango walls and the sea green go so well together. The orange chaise lounges, what a dream. It makes me wish that I didn't do this stuff so I could actually afford to do this stuff, if you know what I'm saying. The rooms kind of remind me of the Riviera out next to Epcot in shape and design, but they seem to have more Disney added to them, like the redesigned rooms of the Contemporary. The tiled transparent acrylic roof is absolutely amazing. Look at the pattern of the canopy as it shadows down on this breezeway between the two pools. Unbelievable concept and use of very minimal space. The Small World style backboard for your vanity and TV is such a great touch. Subtle, perfect Mary Blair inside of your room. Small, efficient, and amazing style decisions happening everywhere. Themed without looking too cheesy, just enough to let you know that you're sleeping inside of Disneyland. And that's exactly what you're paying for. The color tiles and mirror accents create fun and happy, colorful moments to cheer you up as you're getting ready for a long day of ripping the parks. Which, speaking of, the hotel is so close to ripping the parks and being fully open on its own. Let's go and look at the semi-final piece. It is just weeks away from its opening, where we can see the nice tile work along the edges, creating color and fun, the strong yellow and salmon vertical lines to complement the wooden brown of this building, but also to nicely contrast it with the repainted Disneyland Hotel, where they added more green to the blue to better contrast with the new DVC tower. And here it is, towering over the monorail slide, where it was once dirty little Matterhorn, then at the bottom of the slide, then at the top of the slide. It is now level with the Frontier Tower, completing the Disneyland Hotel skyline and finally placing you inside the resort with no sight lines now exiting the hotel area. When we look at the model, we see how each piece of the hotel perfectly snaps into its place, using the most of a small space, packing in a lot, but not making it feel crowded. Everything has a place, and that place has a purpose. It's almost like magic how well this fits here, which leads me to believe Disney probably knew this would happen one day. And all the things we speculate about, they already know what's going to happen in their future. Not when, but where and how. Till then, we'll keep documenting it, and I'll bring you weekly updates where each Saturday we explore a different territory of the Disneyland Resort, starting with Disneyland. The next week we move over to DCA, then Downtown Disney, and then we end the month with the Disneyland Hotels. But when there's 5 Saturdays during magical months like this, I will bring you specials like these where I show you the complete journey of one of the projects at the Disneyland Resort. Hey Brickey is a small channel, but man, it has a big heart. So please do me a favor and subscribe to the video so I can keep justifying going out and filming historical footage like this for all of us each and every week. And I want to give a major shout out to my friends over at club1313.com. Without their support, there is no way I could have justified going and filming this pile of dirt till it became a hotel every week for the last 18 months. If you think this is some of the best Disney content on YouTube, I would love to see you become our friend and show your support at club1313.com. So friends, I'll see you the next time, and please enjoy the new hotel for me. I hope you have half as much fun staying there as I did watching it being built.